Hello, and welcome to our show for the love of animals. We're so glad that you joined us today. Today is Senior Day, so stay tuned. I'm Darleen Pigford.
And I'm Greg Baur, and we want to tell our viewers about some upcoming shows. We want to do one on plants. Plants can be very good for your animals, but they can also be very dangerous for your animals. And then we're going to look at the topic of lost and found. What happens if you lose a pet? And suppose you find a pet, how is the best way to maybe connect back with the owner? But that those are a couple of future shows. But today...
Good show topics there, Greg.
Well, you said something about seniors.
That's right. Today is Senior Day.
Okay.
But whether your pet is a senior or not, you need to stay tuned because we're going to give you information about how to care for the senior animal and what their, what diseases are the most common you have to look out for. And we'll be zeroing in on cats and dogs. So why don't you introduce our guest,
I certainly will, and we have a person who's well qualified to talk about these, Dr. John Kelley, a local veterinarian here in Paducah who is, works at Siglinski Animal Clinic. And so, John, thank you so much for coming today and sharing your thoughts with us. And we know you're very busy these days.
No problem. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
We're glad you're here.
It's a pleasure.
Well, tell us first about your own fur family.
Well, I have one dog named Lily. I think she's 3 now. She's getting up there in age, but she's 3. She's a German Shorthair Pointer. I rescued her from an abusive case they found her running the streets of Benton. And it was just a rescue case that, I fell in love with her when I saw her. But then also I have 3 little cats, Buick, Pirate, and Spidey is the other cat. So they're a handful. They're all inside, so they keep me occupied.
With their names, they sound very spunky.
Yes, they are. All of them. They keep going.
And you were also telling me that you have cattle.
Yep, I have some cattle. I have about 14 head of cattle that I just have for a hobby, just for fun.
So you have your own little pet farm,
yeah,
kinda.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, we're going to be talking about the senior animal, and you mentioned that one of the most common problems was diabetes.
Yes.
Tell us about diabetes, its symptoms, how we can prevent it, handle it. Help us handle it.
Well, it's a pretty common disease. We're seeing it more and more often than we used to see it. We don't know if it's diet related or genetic related. A lot of these genetic things are coming out, but a lot of the times you get older to middle-aged dogs, somewhere around 7 or 8, they'll present drinking a lot of water, peeing a lot, not eating, weight loss, and they'll present themselves as used to be obese or overweight dogs that have now all of a sudden lost 50% of their body weight, as they're getting old. Yeah, so then, how you diagnose it, you have to get a sample of their blood and, you check their glucose level. And their glucose level is usually above the 300 mark, so that's a lot higher that's about double what it should be. But a lot of your cats or dogs with diabetes will come in with their glucose about 500,
Wow.
So it's a pretty high number. But they tend to go downhill pretty quick,
Okay.
Treatment-wise, you have to give insulin because that's diabetes. Diabetes is lack of insulin. Insulin breaks down your carbohydrates, your proteins, and stuff like that. So if you don't have your insulin secreted, your glucose gets high. So you have to give your insulin.
And this is the same insulin that a human would.
Yeah, we prescribe out the same types of insulin as the humans would get. Lantus is your #1 insulin that we use a lot in cats, and it's the #1 insulin for humans too. So you use the same insulin as you would use on dogs and cats as you would use in humans. Another thing is diet. Diet's a big thing. Diet high in fiber, low in fat. You have to have low calories because if you have that high fat diet, your insulin is not there to break it down, so you get higher glucose because it'll absorb that glucose. Okay, so you have to make sure that you have a diet change in there too, because most of these animals before they become diabetic were overweight. So they're mostly a overweight population of animal as they get older. But if you don't have that diet change, you're not gonna be able to well regulate it as much.
Well, it's very similar to the way that diabetes affects humans.
Oh, it's identical the way that diabetes. Yeah. It's just a lot harder to monitor in dogs and cats because you can't go around and prick their finger every day, you know. I mean, to check their blood levels to see if they need insulin or not. If you have, you know, if you prick their finger every day, you're not going to get the blood sample that you need.
Okay. Well, now tell us. I assume you have to administer this insulin with a needle, right?
Yep, with a needle.
Ooh, tell us a little more about that.
It's actually not as bad as it sounds because I mean, it's the same needle as they use in humans, and it just goes in under the skin. So I mean, it's a really small needle, and the amount of insulin they get is usually a really, really small dose. So I mean, because dog and cats aren't as big as humans, so they don't. Their dosage is about the same, you know. So there's small amount of insulin that they give, and you have to give it twice a day is the big thing, and you have to make sure they eat before they give it, because if you don't eat before you give it, then you have a chance of going hypoglycemic. All
right, so if I have a diabetic pet, then I have to make sure it eats before I give it the insulin shot.
Yeah,
right?
Because if you don't, then if they don't eat, their glucose is already possibly low. You give them the shot, and it even becomes lower, and then you can go into like signs of seizures, even coma. You know, they can go into a diabetic coma, and you don't want that. You know.
And this insulin has to be refrigerated, does it?
Yes, it does.
Ooh, so I bet during the ice storm, what happened with all of the people in this area?
A lot of them put it on in an ice chest and kept it cold, but I mean, a lot of them called and wanting to know what to do, you know. So it was a struggle for all of us in the ice storm. I mean, humans too. I mean, diabetic humans had the difficulties that we did because they didn't have electricity to keep it cold, but we made it. You know, everybody made it through okay.
And if a person ran out of insulin, that's not good for the.
No, you always want to pretty much keep when you're half empty, you want to keep another bottle just for emergency sake, in case you drop one and break one. You know, you want to keep another bottle around.
Okay. But there's no cure for this.
No, it's not. It's just a manageable. You know, it's not. There's not a cure.
Manageable.
They've been showing studies in cats though that with the start of glargine or the Lantus insulin, that they're getting some remission.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
with a diet change and this new insulin that they've came out with, they're showing some signs of going into remission. So there's some hope there, but it still has some more tests and studies to be done.
So review me real quickly before we go to break on the things to look for that your cat might be diabetic, or your dog.
You got to look for drinking a lot of water. Peeing a lot or urinating a lot.
Okay.
And also rapid weight loss. You know, they go from being 10 pounds to being 5 pounds within 2 weeks. You know, those are those are your three most common that you see: drinking a lot, urinating a lot, and rapid weight loss.
Okay. All right. So controlling that weight when they're in their younger years is extremely important.
Yep, that'll help prevent it. There's a lot of genetic factors, but a lot of it is, you know, controlling weight control.
Which probably I'll just add one slight point on that. Table food is taboo.
Right, that's not a good
thing.
Not a good thing. So, well, Wicked says it's time, Greg, for us to take a break. So we're going to take a break and do a happy tale about a cat named Alex. So listen up.
Hi, my name is Alex, and I am about 4 years old, and guess that I am one of the Heinz 57 variety. When I was just a wee one, someone brought me to Judy at Creatures Great and Small along with my two siblings. Judy bottle fed us and found us a foster home where we grew up. One of my siblings was adopted, so there is just the two of us. We both need a happy, loving, forever home. We are both very loving and like to be rubbed under our chin. We would like to be adopted together if possible. How can you help? I thought you would never ask. Just call Judy at 554-2616.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that little happy tale with a little voice sound effect. It sounded a little bit like Morris, didn't it?
Yeah, Alex's alias Morris. So.
But Alex is 4 years old and really needs a home. And you can call Judy Hardy out at Creatures Great and Small, 554-2616, if you can help us out with Alex. So.
Yeah, Alex is 4 years old, and he and his siblings need a home. And Alex is a beautiful orange and white cat. So Let's find Alex a home.
Well, we're talking today with Dr. John Kelley, and we've just talked about diabetes in our first segment. We want to move now to another very common ailment that you see in your pets, particularly as they age, and that's cancer. So, John, where should we begin on this?
It's a big topic.
It's a big topic. We only have a
couple
minutes to talk about it, but cancer is a growing problem in our field of study, and a lot of it we don't know if it's a growing problem because it's actually becoming more common to have cancer, or if more clients are actually bringing their dogs and cats to a veterinarian because it's been proven that humans are taking better care of their pets now than they used to, or are we just diagnosing it more because
we've got already there.
Yeah, we've got better diagnostics, and it was there in the past, but we're just now diagnosing it more. But we're seeing it a lot more. And we're even seeing it more in younger animals, not just your senior pets.
Really?
Yeah, you're starting to see more and more juvenile types of cancers develop. But with our senior types, you're seeing anything from skin cancer, just like you would see in a human, to internal major organ cancer like your liver, your lung, your spleen, and even brain cancer in some. We're seeing a lot more cancer develop. Prevention wise for cancer, you can't, you just like humans, we don't
really know.
We don't really know exactly what's causing it yet. Treatment has come a long way over the last several years. Again, treatment, is there going to be a real good treatment for it? Is it going to be just like a palliative, or just getting more time, with your loved one, some good quality time? With this cancer, the big C word, cancer, a lot of it with these chemotherapeutics, you're getting, that the humans are developing for the human medicine, you're getting a lot of those to help us in our cancer. But a lot of these dogs and cats, their metabolism, or they age faster than we do. They live average 12, 15 years, somewhere in there, where we're talking humans average about 65, 70. That's about average. So by the time that we find cancer in a pet, it's spread, and it's usually progressed pretty rapidly. So treatment is kind of difficult in a way, not only on our aspect of things not being able to do exactly what we want, but on the owner's aspect of things too, because it comes so fast, and you're talking humans, they'll give humans some 2 to 3 years, and we're talking in pets, 2 to 3 months, when we finally diagnose it.
Yeah, I read somewhere in the literature that it's now the leading cause of death in cats and dogs.
Yeah,
it just floored me.
Yep, because it's come on fast. We don't know exactly what causes the cancer, or why we're all of a sudden seeing more and more cancer. We just don't.
Yeah, and this is across the nation.
Yeah, this isn't just in Paducah like we would think of. A lot of people say the plant, but out at USEC, but we don't have anything to prove that.
Okay. But what kind of symptoms, John, might a pet owner look for to diagnose cancer? Blood tests, or behaviors, or what?
We don't have the blood test per se that would identify okay, I ran this test and your dog's got cancer.
I see.
We don't have a cancer tag like humans do. But what we can do a lot of the times, number one, if it's skin, you see it and you take an aspirate of it and you send it off to the lab and see what it is. But say like some type of organ failure, or some type of liver problem or kidney problem, you sit there and the dog comes in and not been acting right for a while, and you run the blood work and you see that its liver functions off the wall. Its liver's not functioning the way it should. Then a lot of it's ultrasound and X-ray. So you take an ultrasound of it, or an X-ray of the abdomen, you can see a growth or a cancer growing on that organ. So a lot of it's rule out than it is all of a sudden, I ran a blood test and your dog's got cancer. A lot of it's running the blood and finding out what's going on there, and then going farther, taking your X-rays and seeing where it's coming from.
Sounds complicated.
Yes, very complicated.
Okay. Well, another common ailment that you can see is arthritis.
Yes. Yeah, that's a big one. And a lot of that's more of your bigger dogs, like your Labradors or German Shepherds, Golden Retrievers, and like that. And a lot of them in the back hind legs, like hip dysplasia. You know, that's our number one seeing arthritis we see is hip dysplasia.
Okay.
That's an age change as your joint, you know, in humans the same thing. As you get older, you get arthritis. you just don't get the signs that you don't get the exercise that you need to keep your joints lubricated, you know, as you get older. So a lot of these dogs will, you know, have an intermittent lameness at first, where sometimes they're limping on those back legs, or they might actually, when it's cold outside, not want to get up, or after they exercise really hard, you know, they get stiff, or after they sleep for a very long time, they don't want to get up, you know. And you get those type of dogs that come in, and then, you know, you x-ray their hips, and they've got what they call arthritis, or, you know, in their hip section. And a lot of this, we've came a long way in our arthritis medicine that we've had. I mean, you know, Celebrex came out for humans not too long ago. I mean, it's been probably 8 years or so ago, but now we're talking, we've got stuff like Celebrex. We've got some non-steroidal anti-inflammatories instead of like a steroid, you know, that doesn't have as bad of side effects as your steroids. And they've been showing us a lot of promise in our arthritis patients, and also glucosamine, chondroitin, just like humans take, you know, for their arthritis, keep their joint fluid going, you know. We've been seeing a lot of results combining the two with the glucosamine and the non-steroidals, that we get a lot of improvement in our arthritis.
Question, have there been any studies done, John, both in respect with cancer and arthritis? Do you find any genetic or hereditary aspects of this?
Yeah, in the cancer, not as much, but in the hip dysplasia, a lot of it is genetic. I mean, a lot of it is from genes, and a lot of dogs that have hip dysplasia are not, you know, they don't recommend for breeding because it is such a congenital problem. You have, because like your Labradors and your Goldens and your German Shepherds, they all have to be AKC registered, and a lot of them want 2-year-old hip x-rays when they're 2 years old, to send in a hip x-ray and see and make sure that they don't have possibility of having hip dysplasia in the future.
Yeah. Is hip dysplasia also found in cats?
It can be, not as common, but it can be. A lot of because a lot of it's your bigger dogs or bigger animals that have weight on those hips. A lot of them are your cats and your cats won't show, or small dogs won't show as many problems as with your hips.
Yeah. All I know is that our cats, our senior cats, surely do love their heated kitty bed.
Oh yeah, just to get the heat on that.
Just to get the heat, right.
On those joints, yeah, and that's a good. I mean, that's a good thing
for cats or dogs.
Yeah, that's a good thing for preventive measures of keeping heat on them.
Oh really?
Yeah, I mean, and also another preventive measure, you can go ahead and start the glucosamine chondroitin when they're younger. If you know you have a dog that's prone to having, because what that'll do is that'll keep that joint fluid being produced. So I mean, if you have a dog that you know that might be thinking you're having joint problems in the future, go ahead and start them on the glucosamine, because there's no real side effects to it. It's not going to cause you any problem. It's a good supplement.
And the same would be true for cats.
Yep,
then also.
for cats too. Yep.
Okay.
Right. Well, so consult your vet about it. It's nice to have, at least as you age, a problem that you can do something about, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Well, I guess it's time to take another break. We now have a happy tale for you about Sissy, so listen up. Here's a story about a nice little dog.
She's a sweet little Shih Tzu.
Yes, she is.
Just like Wicket. So give a listen.
Hi, my name is Sissy, and I'm a 1-year-old female Shih Tzu. I had a wonderful owner who was retired and gave me lots of attention and love. Unfortunately, she developed poor health and could not take care of me anymore, so I came to Creatures Great and Small. Now I have a foster home, but I really want a forever loving home again. I like lots of attention, and I want to be petted and brushed all the time. I would love to sit on your lap. I have a great disposition. I'm housebroken too, and I'm way past the furniture scratching stage. If this sounds like a match, please call Judy at 554-2616 and tell her the good news. You won't be sorry.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that little happy tale about Sissy, and she needs a home too.
Yes, she does.
Give Judy a call if you can help us out on that. She looks like a really cute little dog, and she's housebroken.
Housebroken, that's right.
As a dog owner, you will appreciate.
And let's give Judy Hardy and her volunteers support. They do a wonderful job with Creatures Great and Small.
Yes, they do.
They do not have a shelter. They're a fostering network. And if it weren't for all her foster homes, a lot of these animals will even have it worse. They would have no home at all. So let's hope maybe one of the viewers out there today thinks, well, I'd like to have a cute little 1-year-old housebroken dog. So good luck, Sissy, and also to Alex the cat. And thanks to Judy.
And you can contact Judy for any kind of help that you could give, whether financial or time or fostering or anything like that, at 554-2616, Creatures Great and Small. So
that's 270, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So,
I just automatically assume everybody knows that here.
okay.
Well, this afternoon we're talking with Dr. John Kelley, who's kind enough to give us a lot of valuable information.
Yes.
Those first 2 segments were just jam-packed.
About your senior dog or
caring
cat.
for your senior pet, dog or cat. And so we're going to continue now with a couple of areas dealing with thyroid as another possible problem, and also eyesight. So, John, it's back to you.
A lot of your thyroid problems are in cats. Okay, as they get older, their thyroid stops functioning the way it should, and it actually hyper functions actually. So it goes into hypersecretory, where it secretes too much thyroxine, which is what drives your metabolism. You know, and with your thyroid, your cats will come in and they won't be, you know, they'd be having a ravenous appetite, so they'd be eating all the time. Or also weight loss, rapid weight loss, because of that metabolism going so high. And then eating all the time, drinking a lot of water, as I would say with your thyroid cats. Dogs, you don't usually see a hyperthyroid state. Actually, in dogs, you see hypothyroid, where their thyroid stops working. Okay, so when your thyroid stops working, you have the opposite effect. So they don't eat or drink very good. They will gain a lot of excess weight. They're heat seekers. They want to go lay on a cool floor somewhere, you know. So that's the hypothyroid is dogs, hyperthyroid in cats. Okay. With your cats, a thyroid, you can always feel a thyroid right underneath their neck, and it'll be right here, and you can usually it'll usually, as you run your finger down the trachea, it'll usually pop up, and you can feel it popping up. And a lot of, we use that. It's harder for regular pet owners to feel that, but you know, that's the way we'll diagnose if we feel it, and then we'll take a blood sample and check for the thyroid and see if it's high. Surgery to take out that thyroid, or they actually have radioactive iodine, which is they inject it in. You have to go to, we have to send you to a university to have that done, but a lot of times you can surgically remove that thyroid, leaving the other side alone and leaving the parathyroids alone and everything. You know, usually we can get the thyroid level fixed. A lot of them don't really ever regain their weight, but it keeps them from getting any skinnier, you know, because of that thyroid. But that's your, you know, treatment. Prevention, again, it's kind of hard to prevent. It's a congenital, you know, a lot of it is congenital. It's kind of a hard thing to prevent from happening. It just happens as the cat ages. On your dogs, with the hypothyroid side of things, you know, their thyroid gland quits working, so a lot of them will show skin issues also because of the thyroid. They'll get a hairless tail, where they won't have any hair on their tail, and that's one of your most common signs of hypothyroidism in dogs. The best part about hypothyroid is it's just, you supplement.
Okay, so it's treatable.
It is treatable. You just supplement them thyroid every day, and everything, you know, get their thyroid levels back up, and everything's back to normal.
You know, all right, another common problem. Kidney ailments.
Yes, that's
okay.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. Yeah, kidneys. A lot of older cats and dogs, we don't know why exactly their kidneys quit working when they do. A lot of people think it's diet related. A lot of people think that the blood vessels going to the kidneys aren't big enough. You know, just a lack of blood supply to the kidneys. But you start getting very small, non-functional kidneys. Okay. As that happens, they'll drink a lot of water. Again, they'll urinate a lot. Most of the time, you'll see them actually start urinating in the house. The urine will start losing its color, like a normal yellow urine. It'll start becoming clear. A lot of dogs and cats will actually have an ammonia smell to their breath when their kidneys start shutting or start failing or being insufficient functioning. You'll see that a lot of your dogs and cats, when they come in, will be very sick. They'll be vomiting, you know, anorexic, not wanting to eat, lethargic, just laying around, just feeling like blah. And a lot of that is because the two things we use to diagnose kidneys in your blood is what they call blood urea nitrogen and creatinine, okay? And both of those are secreted by the kidneys from the blood. So if your kidneys are not functioning, they build up in your blood, and those are they can become very toxic to the pet, and that's why they make them feel so bad, because the kidney's not filtering those out. So what you do a lot of times with that is you have to flush them out. You have to flush their fluids, keep their fluids going, okay? Because if you don't, make sure they have plenty of water to drink. If they don't drink a lot of water, you know, they won't keep those two enzymes flushed out of their system, and they make them feel better. A lot of times you got to change their diet when they have kidney problems. You got to change your diet to something with low protein, low phosphorus, low salt, because if you have all that, I mean, it just perpetuates if you have a high protein, it will perpetuate your kidney problems. But a lot of these are manageable with the right fluid therapy, but again, they're not. A lot of it's not treatable. It's just a manageable disease once they get above that age. Yeah.
But the earlier you catch it,
the earlier you catch it, the better. And on that aspect, the earlier you prevent it, the better. You know.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, prevention's your key here. You know, you got to make sure they always have plenty of water to drink, low protein, low salt diet. You know, I mean, anything that you can keep that kidney functioning better. Weight. I mean, weight's always a big thing, and no matter what it is, weight's always a good thing. It can be your diabetes, your arthritis, anything. Weight's one of our big factors that come into play on these adult or senior pets.
And it brings up again something we said earlier. Table food is taboo.
Yeah, table food's not a good thing.
Okay. How about eye problems?
A lot of our older pets, they develop eye problems. A lot of them go from anywhere from cataracts to glaucoma. I mean, just like humans. I mean, it's a lot of the same things that older humans deal with in eye problems. And sometimes as they get older, they just lose their eyesight. I mean, nothing we can do to prevent it, and nothing you can do. And a lot of our eye problems aren't preventable. You know, they just develop. They don't have the stuff that we can do to prevent them from actually developing eye problems. Again, with the way our new research is going, our eye problems are getting better treated. Like for cataracts, I mean, they do the same surgery that they do in humans at eye ophthalmology specialists. Like we send ours down to Nashville, St. Louis. They all have the board certified ophthalmologists that do the surgeries and take out these cataracts. Glaucoma, you know, they've came a long way in treatment of glaucoma to keep the pressure in that eye down. But again, a lot of these eye problems, manageable, not curable, but manageable, you know.
Well, in our last minute, give us a quick summary. What can I do as a pet owner to take good care of my senior pet?
Number one, weight. I mean, that's going to be,
watch their weight.
Watch their weight. Make sure they have plenty of exercise. I mean, exercise is a good thing. I mean, no matter, it helps your weight, and it just keeps their joints moving. Diet, you know, a good diet. You know, not high in fat. You know, not like you said, table foods. No. You know, but a diet high in good nutrients. Supplements, some vitamins. You know, you can use, but you know, just keep them in their routine. You know, if good care. If you get out of their routine, they're just like, they have a routine. They're creatures of habit. If they don't,
give them comfort.
Yep. If you don't keep them comfortable, then you'll start seeing problems. The more stress is in their lives, the more likely that something will happen.
Good advice.
Time is just
Doesn't it fly, Greg, when you're having fun?
Oh, I know it. It's terrible. John, we'd like to thank you so much for taking time out today and sharing your expertise with us. And I know our viewers have got an awful lot of good tips today.
It was a lot in a little bit of time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, John.
Oh, no problem.
And so I guess we've got to close.
Yes, we got to close.
And I'm Greg.
I'm Darlene.
And we want our viewers to remember what we always say. Give your pet a little extra love today and every day. See you.